And bam, we are live. What is going on, everyone, in the BeatStars universe? Back again with Beat the Block Live. I am here with your hosts of Beat the Block. We have Portland's own Trox.
Yeah.
And we have Chicago's own, by way of Detroit, Dope Candy.
What's up? What's up?
So today we're going to be getting into this episode with 88 Keys. What was your guys' like favorite moments of this interview?
One thing I took from it was he was talking about how he does things his way and he doesn't care about what anybody else says.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life, man. That's how I make my music. Like I related to that, you know? And
yeah,
so,
I agree.
So like it just makes me want to apply that even more in my life.
How about you, Candy?
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing that stuck out. Like he never felt like he had to jump on a bandwagon and make beats. Like follow the wave. If certain artists were looking for a certain sound, he just stuck to what he does and he didn't care about it. And he didn't care about chasing the bag. He just stuck with what he wanted to do. And so I think that's extremely important because, you know, we're all trying to get that bag. So,
yeah.
But he had a different perspective. So.
Totally. Yeah. I think that, I don't want to say it's rare, but I think that being able to like develop and stick to your own sound when everyone else is like chasing what's hot is not so common.
It is. I mean, everyone feels like they have to compromise a little bit just to get their foot in the door, and then, you know, make what you make. But, you know, it's one of those things. So
here's a question though, like, because just, you know, there's lots of sounds that are hot, but also, you know, that you might be inspired by, like in the early 2000s, like if you hopped on Neptunes, like maybe you just really love that style, you know what I mean? So
right.
What do you guys like as you guys are, you know, developing your sound or like keeping your ear open? How do you look at that?
I think it's a positive thing. I think that it's all a part of developing your sound. So we all have people that we are influenced by, you know, like 88 Keys is a sample producer. And some people are not. Some people are more composers or, you know, I think also the age and the time of music has changed. When new gear comes out, people hop on that and develop. So I think we're all influenced. So it's good to try to replicate in the process of finding your sound, but it's not like jacking the sound. You know what I'm saying? So you still have your own flow, even though it fits in that vein of music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I used to back in high school like remake beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I would take like something like Big Pun, You Ain't a Killer, right? And I try and remake that beat like sound for sound. And like that helped me like develop my sound. And just like it helped me make my own material.
Yeah.
You know? But as far as like different like sounds and subgenres and stuff, I listen to it all, but I don't like try and copy everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like try and take one element of it and then apply it to my sound.
And two, like it's different when you're literally just starting. Like you're still learning the software. You're like learning how to make it work. So yeah, like you keep doing that until eventually you get all those different inspirations and you're like, okay, this is my like, you know, mixing pot. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, also,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like you kind of find out what the artist likes too. Like Kanye has a sound, you know what I'm saying? If you listen to Timbaland beats or even the Neptunes, they have a certain sound, but they cater to certain artists. So then it's just like when you find an artist that you really dig and you hear what they pick generally, then it's just like, okay, I need to make something try to incorporate those sounds into what I make. Cause really it's like the choices of sounds that you pick when you make your beats too. That's a huge factor.
Word. You know, it's funny though. like my experience with artists is like whenever I like play them or send them something that like is kind of in that realm of where they're at, they don't normally pick those. But
They go with
whenever
the
I throw
opposite.
a curveball, that's when I get a result.
Yeah,
Producer, any producer that's on here, like don't be afraid to
that
throw a
has
curveball.
happened.
Don't be afraid.
That happens too. And it's always like the beat that you least expect. So like the one you spent like 20 minutes making and the other ones you put so much energy into and you're like, I know they're gonna pick this one. And then you're like, you want this? What? I just threw it in the folder. So that does happen. I agree with Tracks.
Definitely.
Love that.
Sometimes you got to think outside the box to, see success.
Yep. And
Ain't
be
no one
yourself.
blueprint. Absolutely.
I think people respect you. It's like, okay, if I come with all these beats that sound like someone else versus like, here's my sound. Gotta respect it, right?
That's
Absolutely.
true. Yep.
So we're about to get into it. So if y'all were on the stream last time, we did it a little different. We played the video. It was choppy. We heard your feedback. So this time we're going to try something new. We actually have a transcript, and we're going to be basically playing the highlights, and y'all can like read along with the transcript. So we'll test it out and see how that goes. But also, we're going to do a lot more Q&A. So I want you guys to be throwing your questions in. We're going to be in Twitch commenting there, but also, after those highlights are over, we're going to pause. We're going to take your questions, and we're going to talk about it. So start thinking. Start typing as this is going, and we'll pick the best of the best, and we'll cover those in the stream. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this one started. While I'm getting this up. So one of my favorite moments, and we're going to be playing it, is so 88 is good friends with Kanye. He met him before he signed a deal. And he was executive producer on his album. And they did this music video together, which if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. It makes what he's saying make a lot more sense. It's basically him and Kanye dressed up as like two like really old dudes. And they just went around with no permits, and they were just like dancing in like record stores and clubs and all these other things. So it was really funny to hear him like say the behind the scenes of like how that worked and how that went down. That was maybe arguably my favorite part.
Definitely. That was a highlight for sure.
It was.
All right, we're just getting this live here.
How many we got in here? How many we got in here?
I think we got about 50.
We have 27,000 viewers.
Hey,
27,000.
Hey.
make
What's
it 28.
Let's
Make
go.
it 28. We got to get the Tory Lanez quarantine.
Quarantine.
We got to get our own tags.
That dude's a fool on Instagram.
Dude,
Man.
come on. So entertaining. Come on.
See,
Hey,
also
we got Lily.
Sean, you know the vibes, man.
By the way, Oso Sean just sold his first beat on BeatStars, so
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Big up to him.
And he subscribed to the BeatStars channel too, so thank you.
hey.
That's what's up.
All
What's
right.
up, gang?
What's up, Will?
Headband Will.
Headband.
Yeah.
You came through with the headband.
It's a whole different mood.
Bandana ill.
This dude just did strength training. Speed and
Yeah,
agility
big
training.
facts. It's not just a headband, it's a head tie. Feel me?
Oh, it's a head.
Oh, it's a head
snap.
tie. Oh, a tie in the back.
I'm on my Jimmy Butler action right now.
And that samurai.
Otherwise,
Samurai
it's stuff
Jimmy.
in my face, man.
I'm about to Post that we are live.
All right, gang.
All
We're
right.
gonna see if this works.
Side note.
It's not a middle
talking
finger. I'm
Usher.
just.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Great.
can.
Shout out to brother James Fresco.
Welcome to Beat the Block.
Get that, man, all the time, man. So fast forward, Black Star's album comes out. You did Thieves in the Night.
Yep.
Widely considered a classic record, probably one of the best records on the album.
Oh, thanks, man. I greatly disagree. I mean, I've heard that a couple of times before. I disagree, but I'm glad some people think so. I love that album. And,
Facts.
man, High Tech is like one of my favorite producers of all time.
Same.
Me too.
Same, yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah. So that was your second paycheck. That was the second time you got paid for landing on an album. Was that correct?
Actually, yep. That's crazy that you know that.
What was the first one?
The first one was, so there's a group called Network Reps. And honestly, I believe the song is actually on iTunes to like now. So it's a song called Dos Collabo, because it was actually like a remix or whatever to Collabo. Dos Collabo, Hip Hop's Delight, group called Network Reps. To be honest, I felt the beat was so trash. It was my attempt at trying to make, I guess if we were in this day and age, it would be DJ Premier like beat.
Like the type
It was a
beat,
like
right?
beat.
DJ Premier type beat.
Yeah, but it sounds so
hilarious.
far from a DJ Premier track. But that's what I was going for. But consequently enough, that was the very first beat I ever made on an MPC 3000. And
Wow.
yeah, like literally, like while I was teaching myself how to use the MPC 3000 without an owner's manual in the dark, which didn't belong to me. It belonged to the studio that I interned at. That was the very first beat that I made, and I saved it to a 3.5 floppy, and the group used it. So a close friend of mine, my man Matt Fingers, he ran, so he was and you know, I didn't know this about him till like much later on, but he was a college radio DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was supposed to get $900. Like I was told the fee was $900, and that completely blew my 17 or 18-year-old mind. I was like, what? $900? $900? You gonna pay me $900? No, nah, seriously. It was like, you know, it was crazy for me. I was like, yeah, let's go, let's do it. And then between those two times, my skill set on the MPC got a little better. Not much better, but it got a little, like the beats that I made in the interim were significantly better than that beat that they chose. So I was kind of pressuring Matt, or I asked Matt Fingers to give them other beats that I've made to swap them out, you know, because I was like, yo, that beat is like, I knew that beat was trash by the time I was figuring out how to make beats better, and they were just like, nope, we good with this. I'm like, nah, man, this ain't it. This is not it. But they said they were good with it.
They had their heart set on it.
Yeah, but then also at the time I was getting paid $900, so I wasn't trying to argue. I wasn't trying to talk myself out of getting $900 either. So, you know, and back then I didn't really know the value of actually liking something that you're putting out and getting paid for, even though if it took you like it probably took me like an hour to make that beat, because again I was just trying to figure out how to you know use the 3000. But yeah, so you know I was just like, okay, fine, you know, y'all want to pay me $900 for this trash? Go right ahead. But then I got $700. I remember getting $700, but I also didn't understand, you know, business at the time, so I didn't understand that Matt had to get paid. So yeah, I just kind of shrugged it off.
Sound like my life.
And I was still happy and bought a lot of polo and a lot of records. I see your sweatshirt, by the way.
Hey, you know,
Hats off to you.
hey, you know, I'm a low head,
That's all
man.
life for life, man, all day.
I was on mute. So that was our first section there, our first highlight. Y'all go ahead and start asking your questions in the comments here. We're gonna pick the best one, but I got a question for you guys. So
What's up?
you know, when it comes to like putting out or selling your not so favorite beats, like you guys were just saying, like it's often a curveball in the sessions that like people pick, like the one you don't think is going to be hot. Like, how do you look at that? Do you upload everything you make? Do you curate it? Like, how do you decide what's going to go and what's not?
That's something I'm still working on. I would say definitely.
So y'all want to be all deaf mutes right now? Okay, I'll take it.
You can't. Can you hear us?
You can't hear us?
You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear everyone.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I was saying was, it's something I'm still working on. I think you should definitely flesh out everything to your liking, because that was one of the things that he said. It makes you cringe when you make something that you really don't like, or you feel like, I don't think you can hear me.
I don't think, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Will?
I can hear everyone.
I don't think you can hear Candy because she's talking and then you start talking. All right, we're going to figure that out. Keep going, Candy.
So what I was saying was, it makes you cringe to hear something that you didn't fully do to your potential, or at least that you're satisfied with. So if there's a beat that you make and you're like, man, I should have switched that up, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. If someone picks it and it might be the best beat to them, because everybody's taste is different, and then it's released and you're always going to be thinking about that. And I feel like it's funny because most of the people that we've interviewed, when we say, oh, that's my favorite beat, or that was my favorite record, they're like, I hated that record. So,
Yeah.
so
Totally.
Just put everything in the folder. But when you work on your music, just try to get it as close as to how you hear it in your mind as possible. So
yeah, Buffo on the Beat commented, I look at my beats like food dishes. If I wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't serve it to someone else. That's a good
That's a good one.
interesting metaphor.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
How about you, Trox? How do you feel about that?
It's tough. What I do is like I listen to the album, their whatever previous record they worked on, right? And then I kind of go in that realm, but at the same time, I throw curveballs at them too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like, I straight up do that shit sometimes. Like I'll put a bunch of beats in a folder and then I'll take them out. Take one at a time out. Like I said in the chat room, addition through subtraction. That was about another thing. That was about complexity of beats. But this is about the folder. Sometimes you don't want to send too much to the artist.
Yeah.
And they'll get overwhelmed. Really, at the end of the day, it's a lottery to me. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Whenever I select beats to send, it's like, you know what, F it. Like I get over my insecurities of like what to send, and I just send it.
Yeah. How about you, Will? What when you're sending over beats to someone or playing them in the studio, like how do you pick what you showed them and what you don't?
I mean, first of all, I just threaten them. We're gonna rap over this.
Let's
beat.
go.
You gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Or get knocked out like your daddy used to. Nah, I'm just playing. How we do it, man, is you kind of you start playing beats. Just play what you like first. You know what I'm saying? I think that's very important. And then you start detect, especially if you're in the studio with an artist, you'll start detecting how they respond in certain tracks. And it's kind of like a roadmap to what you should be playing. Like, if you're lucky enough to get in front of an artist and play them beats, you're almost going to be guaranteed that they like something because you can read the energy. You know what I mean? But when you're sending them via email, it's like the lottery, man. It's a complete crapshoot. I've sent out entire folders of beats that were the complete opposite vibe of what artists were looking for. And then they thought I was whack. And then I'm like, man, you need to just come to the studio. And then I was able to land something. So it's really You really got to go off the vibe, man. And a lot of times, the artists don't even know what they're looking for at the time. You know what I mean? So you just, I would suggest, try to mix it up as much as possible when you're sending out folders.
Definitely. Also, it really depends on the headspace they're in too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can never tell completely what kind of headspace they're in. So like, who knows? They might hate one beat one day. They revisit it a week later, a week or two later, and be like, "Oh, I'm fucking up. Why was I hating on this one?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a day after that, they have a whole song to it.
You can literally go to a session. Everything is about the vibe. It's like you can go to a session and play something, and it'd be a room full of people, and it may not work out. And then go to a session, play it for the same group of people 2 days later, and they're like, "Man, that joint is dope." So, environment is everything. The vibe at the time is everything. People,
Yeah.
you just never know. People they're weird. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes I send an artist a beat twice just to see if they're one of those artists.
Right. Like, did you actually listen, or was you just like on something that night?
80% of the time they never hear the beats, man. That's what I've learned too. Like, did you get the email? Like, so there's a couple of apps, man, where you send the email, it'll let you know if they it'll let you know if they open. I'm big on that because
you gotta put me on to that.
Yeah.
HubSpot's one. There's a few others.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one I use. Because I don't have time to waste. You know what I mean? Like for every folder, every batch of beats I send out, that's somebody else that may want to buy them, that may want to collaborate, that may want to actually do something with it. So, and I don't care if the artist is Kanye West or the dude that just started out last week. I treat everyone the same.
That's true.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for everyone that didn't catch it, that's a HubSpot. If you want to see not just who's read your email, but how many times, when they read it, check it out. It's free. It'll help a lot.
I need the free version.
Yep, that's the one they got.
Everything's subscription based now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
HubSpot is that's the one, man. Like I've caught some people red-handed things that
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you listened to him? Okay, what was the name of the first beat? Oh man, yeah, I know. You didn't listen to it. It's okay.
Oh, the second one. Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
Yeah, out of the one I sent you.
I'm gonna start sending like somebody's gonna ask me for some hip hop tracks. I'm gonna start sending like country music tracks just to make sure that they paying attention. When they come back barking like, "Hey man, what was that?"
Hey, I actually said, you know what I did one time? I literally like took a Cisco album, right? And I like renamed everything to like beat names and shit. And I like put my artist name on it and everything. And I sent it to an artist just to make sure that he was paying attention. And this dude never did. Like, he's like, yeah, I've listened. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm like, this dude didn't listen.
Clearly.
I did the same thing on April Fool's Day, actually.
That's hilarious.
Gotta love it, man. So yeah.
Send over some Randy Newman. You
Some
got a friend in me.
Randy
Shit's hard.
Classic.
Shit's hard.
Be like, yo, man, yeah, I just wrote to that.
You just wrote to the thong song, huh?
I just wrote to that, son. Word up. Be like, okay, you got it. Can't wait to hear how it comes out.
It's the thong song freestyle.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna hop into this second highlight here. Again, y'all can go in the comments, put in your questions. We'll be picking out the best ones. We will discuss it. Here we go.
As a producer coming up, you never felt like you had to jump in. Like, I feel like one of the major struggles we deal with today is sticking to our own sound or jumping in to follow the trend to make sure that we get paid and get that check. Is that something you felt like you had to do?
I never did that. And you know, that was I guess the gift and the curse, because like my discography may read like I have a lot of things going, that I had a lot of things going on and placements and stuff, but it's not really, I don't like, I've gotten a lot of work, but a lot of the stuff, like the majority of stuff that I've done never even came out for one reason or another. Yeah, I never felt like I had to change my style because the times are seemingly changing. Like I wasn't one of those guys that when the Neptunes were blowing up, I was like, all right, I gotta go get a Triton. Where a lot of people did that, and a lot of people were making Neptune-ish beats at the time or whatever. And I mean, and you know, they were probably getting the checks and stuff. So shout outs to them. But yeah, I never did that because I don't know. I just never followed trends. Like, no, I shouldn't say never. So for me, wearing polo isn't a trend. It's a lifestyle thing for me. Like I started wearing it as a teenager in 10th grade because I liked it and I saw other people wearing it. But I just so happened to like it. So I didn't really feel like it was a trendy thing for me. And then, you know, I went overboard and started studying it. And, you know, then till eventually I met Ralph, and Ralph knows who I am. He knows my daughters, and
Wow.
yeah, and like I have his son's contact, and you know, I know his whole family. And so the only trend that I remember jumping on, and I totally regret it, was the Mitchell and Ness throwback jerseys. I spent my $800
Oh
on
man.
them damn shirts. Oh my
Fucking
God.
big ass.
Oh my God.
Curtain
Shout out to Just Blaze and
jerseys,
Kanye.
bro. Oh man.
Shout out
Man.
to Just Blaze and Kanye who gassed me into like
Yo, you
buying
need to
those.
get this West End Sale joint, man. That shit is like 9X jersey down to your ankles.
Man.
I never switch my style up. I just enhance my style, because the thing is, like, I love the music that I make. You know, I just try to make it sound as better than before. So like when these trends come in, like the trap music trend is like the 808s and the keyboards with like the 3 sounds in it and stuff like that, and everything sounds exactly alike, and everyone's using the Fruity Loops trap set, or they're all like getting sounds from the Lex Luger kit and this kit and that kit, and everyone has access to the same sounds. And it's crazy to me because it's all the 808, it's all emulations of the 808. So no one's actually using a real 808, the Roland TR 808 machine or whatever. So
OG TO 808.
yeah, so,
Yes,
so
sir.
everything sounds exactly the same to me. And you know what? Like, I never liked it because of that. I never got into that sound. So I'm like, man, I'm not gonna start making this sound just because it's the wave, or cats are cashing checks. Like, I'm still gonna, like, I'll figure out how to make money off my music somehow.
That's facts, man. Ain't nothing like being passionate about the music you make, and then somebody like totally goes left field with what you thought the concept would be. You know what I'm saying? Here at the Beat the Block podcast, man, we definitely have a focus on what it means to be mentally healthy as a producer, as an artist. You know what I'm saying? What do you do to take care of your mental health? Make sure you're good, make sure your family's straight and stuff like that, man.
I keep my head in the clouds, and I have big aspirations, but with my big aspirations, I just figure out how to get it done. Like every day, literally every day, I strategize and figure out, all right, what can I do to make this happen, or to get another step closer to this. And the thing is, like, with me, when they're tweeting or on Instagram and like, yeah, rise and grind, I'm about to get this paper, I'm about to do all this work and I'm about to move this mountain, or try to move this mountain to get this paper, and blah blah blah. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to do not nearly as much work as you're doing, or putting as much physical effort into, or put that much thought into trying to do what it is that you're trying to do, like trying to achieve. So when people are like, yo, I'm starting at, step A, and then, I'm gonna work my way up to step B and step C, step D, and then eventually I'll get to G, because I'm a G. I'm thinking like, man, I'm looking at getting to like O or P. So I'll start at A like everybody else. So while everyone is like doing what they have to do, the proverbial grind, and they're working their way up to B and C, I'll sit at A by the time they get to D or E, I'm still at A's, like figuring things out. But then when I make my move, I'll be right where they are. I'll be at D.
No doubt, still calculating.
Yeah, I might get knocked back to C or whatever, and then I just sit again. So now they're at G. And again, their goal at G is not nearly what my goal is trying to get to O or P. So, and they're content with that, which is fine. Not everybody likes champagne. Yeah.
Word.
Some people like Snapple. It's all good. So while they're there and they're content and they're still like putting in all the work to stay at G and stuff like that, I got knocked back to C, so I'm still chilling. And then I make my next move. Now I'm at like L, and they're like, "Yo, how'd you get all?" And I was just like, "Man, it's a plan. It's like because how'd I get here? Because I wanted to be here."
No doubt.
I'm sorry, y'all. Kill me with the alphabet.
It's a whole lot of letters.
Some people like Snapple, okay? Not everyone likes champagne.
I love that. I love that.
Man.
I think the question everyone wants to know is, what's your favorite jersey? What jerseys you still got in the closet?
Hold on, man. Do you really want me to pull them out?
Oh, whoa. Are we going to pull them out? Are they ready?
Hold on.
Are they ready for that? Here we go.
Man, I'm a Blazer fan, so check this shit out. I got this right here. You know who this is?
Yep.
Scottie Pippen.
Chat, man, but
I got the motherfucking Scottie Pippen right here. I got
can't hear no.
Stacey Augmon. You know what I'm saying? The Plastic Man. What else? This is the last one I'm going to show. I got the Washington Bullets joint. Rasheed Wallace.
Wallace. Pippen and Wallace, they was Pistons, so
Listen, Rasheed Wallace is one of my favorite players of all time.
2004 Pistons, boy.
Should have won one in 2000 with my Blazers, but it's all good.
Wallace.
Yeah,
I don't have any more jerseys. I did rock the jersey dresses. I did have the FUBU jersey dress in middle school. But you know what? I'm a step my jersey game back up because
Did I just inspire that?
No, you did. I mean, a little bit.
She's like, no.
Jordan inspired. If anybody watched The Last Dance, I was like, oh, I got to get back in the game, So, but yeah. I mean, Trox, you reiterated. So.
Looks like
I'm a basketball head, so it's like, man.
But I need to get back in it.
In the comments, DJ Brightside bumped into Wallace in Portland once.
Yo, Rasheed Wallace was a real one. He always came to the hood, man. Always did. Because Damon Stoudemire was on the team. And he from here.
Man, the jersey era, man. Remember when they had all those fake jerseys? Like,
yeah, the fake joints.
Man, I'm like,
leg ones.
Everybody had a jersey on. But yeah, did any of you have any questions of like listening to 88 talk about like his game plan, like how he kind of put stuff together and figure it out?
That's kind of how I live my life right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just put things together and figure it out. Like I couldn't really tell you like concrete what the plan is, but there's a plan.
Yeah, he talked about like not so much in this section.
StreamYard hates my guts, but
someone said you got the Versus connection.
Yeah, they were filing you in the chat room, man.
Hey, that's all good, man. They ain't gonna violate me in person, I promise you. That's fine.
It's true.
Yeah, StreamYard hates my guts. Can we change this, BeatStars? How about that? I have never had no other problems except for this app.
Yeah, that's weird.
See, can't hear y'all.
No? Any of us?
I hear Trox, I hear Candy, don't hear John.
So you don't hear one of us. So you only hear two people at a time.
They don't
Yeah,
love you
these
like that,
600
man.
These $600 headphones suggest otherwise. So, yeah, StreamYard needs to fix this.
They just don't love you like that, man. It's all good though.
It's all good, man. As long as the people can hear me, I don't really care about John. So,
He said he looking like Teddy Riley is back in the building, huh?
Or Nelly.
Nah, nah man.
Here's a question on the chat room. How do you know when you've overproduced a track? I'll tell you how I know that I've overproduced a track. When I feel like there's way too much going on. Straight up and down.
What is that? What do you like? Dig into that more. Like too many sounds, like too
many sounds. Like it just feels like a cluttered room, like just a dirty ass room. You just got to clean it up.
Also, I think listening to it like the next day or two afterwards, because like your ears get so drowned out with like what you're doing. Once you go to sleep, wake back up and play it, then it gives you like more of a clear, like listen. You gotta have fresh ears. So
yeah, I remember Denon saying that in his interview.
Slippery slope. You know what I mean? Just like save it, come back to it, and if you load it up, and it's just like, nah, this ain't it. Take some stuff away, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Addition through subtraction.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I feel like I always end up taking something away, at least in some part. Like after you flesh out your idea and then come back to like, oh, it actually doesn't need that. And I would say leave room for the artist, because overproducing is pretty common, especially with people that come from like the beat battle circuit, because you're making beats you're trying to entertain people with your beats, but then, you know, where is room for the artist to actually write to it? If there's too much going on, they can't really hear themselves on the track. So
yeah, so is that like, so not just like distracting sounds, but like, because I was listening to an interview of 40 and he was talking about how he keeps like certain frequencies down because he knows the frequency of Drake's voice. So like he'll produce that way. Is it just like distracting sounds? Like how do you make room for someone's voice in the track?
Think about someone's voice as an instrument.
Facts.
So it's like when you're creating, you know, like I go back to the beat battle circuit produces, everything's instrumentation because you're entertaining. So then if you listen to a song that you like or something that's on the radio and you hear an artist, the artist's vocal is the instrument and it's the main instrument. You know what I'm saying? So you can pull your stuff down, pull it back, especially during the verses, the hook, but just leave room for them to build on that. So
Definitely. Like I said, another thing, I said it in the chat room before, I'm going to say it here. One of my biggest records is a 50 Cent record. Tracked out, it's 3 stems. Drums, bass, sample. That's it. And that's all 50 needed, because 50's voice, it needs a lot of compression. It's real hoarse. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody, you really got to know like who you're sending to as well. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they need simple stuff, and you know they can rock with it.
yep. I'm always in that position of pulling back. just that's why I'm able to tell people that. Just so you know, because I'm like, it's got to be big. It's got to be like I'm trying to create a whole orchestra, and then I'm like, oh, well, where's the artist gonna fit? You know. And I've been in some sessions where I'm like, it's not done, and they're like, yes, it is. So it might feel incomplete to me, but
it's done.
I I would say study compositions, man. Like you got to have room for the artist. You know what I mean? You got to have room for the instrumentation. You got to have room for the drums. Every ingredient is important. Study composition. You have to know how to structure a track. You know what I'm saying? So that'll help you out a lot when you putting your beats together. It's like if you just throw everything all in there at once, like artists is going to be like, all right, where do I fit in? You know what I mean? So definitely pay attention to compositions, man. Like watch movies. When you're watching a certain scene, they don't just hit you with all the instrumentation at once. It'll ruin the mood. Like, you know, certain strings may swell to a certain climax of a scene or something like that. Textures, atmospheres, they all have a place. So think of your you know, your track is more of a composition, and you'll start learning how to structure your beats better. You know what I'm saying?
Can one of you guys ask Will what a movie he likes as an example?
I
The
mean,
problem is John.
so what movie?
John.
Like provide an example. All right, so provide an example of like a movie scene where it's like it's just what you're talking about. Like, what's an example of what you're talking about?
Example of what I'm talking about. Like, so if you're watching a perfect example. So imagine watching 300, right? Everybody's seen 300, I'm assuming.
Of course.
And certain scenes where they're talking, you just hear all the rambunctiousness going on while they're talking before a fight scene. Like it wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? So you have to give, you know, the room for the scene to breathe. So if I know this guy's going to be talking, giving a speech before we go into battle, I want it to be the calm before the storm. You know what I'm saying? So think about your track. Like, okay, if it's a song where the artist is a storyteller, rapper, or something, he's telling a story, I need to give him space to be the calm before the storm, because 9 times out of 10, the chorus section is going to be where everything picks back up. So start looking at your tracks kind of like as scenes. Funny how certain dolls call certain parts of the thing scenes as opposed to, you know what I mean? Like if you have Machine, it says scenes. So create your scenes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, song structure is everything. So
Indeed.
definitely study song structure, arrangement.
Love that.
Definitely.
Arrangement is key.
Super
it.
key. We
So-
have another question in the
Yep.
chat room. How do you decide what instruments to use on a track?
I mean, that's like telling me to come in your kitchen and cook your dinner for you. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, you might not like how I cook your dinner that you asked me to come cook. So if you're the chef, you got to pick the ingredients that you like. You know what I mean? Always start with the sounds that you like. You know what I mean? So
Use
once
whatever you want.
Exactly. Start with the sounds that you like, and then if it's like I said, if you put too much salt in there, you're gonna know. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And maybe not as much salt next time. You know, maybe you know, follow the recipe to a T next time. You know, don't deviate. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got to start with the ingredients that you like, man. That's you know, you know what type of drums you like. You know what type of VSTs you like. Start there. That's your base. You know what I mean? That's your favorite cast iron skillet. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I bookmark sounds for sure. But sometimes if I want to try something new, like I just throw things into a wall until I find something that I like, you know, and then I just edit it from there. I use the Arturia Vintage Collection, so like customizing sounds and tweaking and twisting and tweaking and tweaking and twisting, as I'd like to put it. It's really easy on it. So
How often do you find yourself doing that? Like actually just tweaking it?
almost
All
every
the time.
beat, all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I get inspired by sounds. So, you know, I have.
design sounds. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll start with a synth and turn it into something that sounds like a piano. Like it's, you know.
There's no limitations to this creative process, you know.
Never that.
No
Yeah.
limitations.
Yep. 100%. So we're going to dive into our last section of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm about to put in the chat. This is the link to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, go check us out. Go check out all the other episodes. We actually got some other new episodes up there. MTK and Cam1.
About a BeatStars game.
Yep. And if you enjoy it,
Very accurate.
leave a review. Let us know what you think. So we're about to dive into this final section here.
Yes, sir.
I say this, Kanye and I, we had a ball doing it. Like I had fun, but Ye had a lot of fun because this was the first time in
Actually, I'm going to back it up a little bit. We'll start from here.
Let's switch gears for a second, man. We like to on the Beat the Block podcast get into some of those funny stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That war chest, the comedic moments and stuff, man. Let's talk about the Stay Up video, which is one of my favorites. It's my ringtone to this day, man. No gas on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't mind, drop some gems on us, man, about some of the funny things that you've dealt with through this industry.
Oh man. Well, I say this, Kanye and I, we had a ball doing it. Like I had fun, but Ye had a lot of fun because this was the first time in years at that point where he could go out in public and not get recognized. So we shot that video. That video was completely guerrilla style. Like we didn't get any permits or anything. It wasn't like a whole camera crew. Like Jason Goldwatch came up with the concept of the video. Again, it wasn't like this huge crew and like things were set up. He just held the camera. He's like, all right, so we're going to put you here. This, like this is what the situation is. And then we improv. Like that whole video, we improv.
Word.
Yeah, there's a lot of footage that wasn't used and stuff like that. But we had so much fun. And Ye that was his day of semi-normalcy. I remember when we wrapped up, he was like, and he was dead serious too. He was like, man, yo, we should go to the club. And like this. I was like, all right, let's go. Because like, again, like he was just like, yo, no one's coming up to me. No one's asking me for, this and that and blah, blah, blah. Like I can actually, like he could actually get from point A to point B in one stride instead of getting stopped every step of the way. He didn't need any insecurities. It's just like his people's around him, just me and him, just chilling like we did like before he got his deal. I shouldn't say this is a funny story, but a story that behind the scenes thing. So the woman he was dating at the time, who everybody could do the math on that, like check the years or whatever. So the woman he was dating at the time, his girlfriend, had mistakenly, like I guess she wore contacts, and for some reason she mistakenly put like she thought she was putting I guess the contacts, the lens cleaner or whatever, but it was like glue.
Oh man.
Yeah, she put glue.
Oh no.
Something weird, some weird solution. So word got back to him, and she was getting rushed to the hospital. He's like, yeah, gotta go. And that was that. And that was like shortly after he was like, yo, let's go to the club. And then like, our makeup had to be retouched and everything, and that outing came to an abrupt end because of that. But yeah, we were like wilding out, and then we had a dance off for, and oh my god, we had a dance off, and it was, the whole thing was filmed, and Jason, between this the director Jason Goldwatch and my man Robert Gilbert, I'm pretty sure he has the video footage. I call it Jungle Tactics. Yeah, we had like we were dancing for like 7 minutes straight, battling each other in this motel room. Ye and I. We were dancing to, I think, a T-Pain song, and then like a Chris Brown. No, I think it's a T-Pain song. Man, we was killing it. A little bit of the dance off made it to the video, and then a little more of it made it to. So MTV, they did a 30-minute special for me. And of course, like, I'm not gonna be so naive, like, oh, this is my, like, they wanted to do a special on 88 Keys. Like, nah, they really wanted Kanye West. And I just so happened to be able to facilitate that for them. But yeah, they did a special. It was a 30-minute behind the scenes of the video, the making of the video. and it aired on Sucker Free Sundays or something like that. And
I remember seeing it on Sucker Free Sundays. That's where I saw it. Yep.
Yeah. So a little bit more of the dance off made there, but man, they definitely didn't catch the best parts of it or whatever. And because of licensing issue, they had to like switch the music out or whatever. So like it looks like we dancing off beat, but nah, we were killing it. Yeah, and I. Woo. Yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to be a fly on the wall with that one, man.
Yeah.
For real. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and actually, now that I remember, like that album and that like the video and the album, it spawned a few ideas that were pitched to us, but nothing ever panned out. We were pitched a TV show as Rufus and Clifford, like those characters and stuff like that.
Oh man, that would have been gold.
Yeah, we were pitched that, and then HBO, like I guess through Ye, like I guess the powers that be, the execs or whatever, they heard my album, and I guess they loved it, and they thought to make it like a mini series or something like that. And then like a couple of fans approached me, and they wrote like screenplays for a Broadway, off-Broadway play and stuff like other than people like, oh yeah, it sounds cool with like some cool features and stuff like that. I was like, nah, like it really touched people and affected them. He carried a lot of people through high school. Like when I met The Weeknd, when he found out who I was, he like bowed down to me and stuff. He's like, man, like your album was like my favorite album in high school. I was like, oh, that's fresh. The Weeknd.
Yo, Def Adam is still one of my favorites to this day, man. Like superb work on that joint, man. Like it's still in heavy rotation. I'm very similar in that mode where I don't really have to listen to a whole lot of new stuff, man. I try to keep my ear to the streets, man, but I'm mostly in my records, man, and I'm mostly stuck in the 90s, I guess, whatever.
The 90s.
It is what it is.
That's the best era.
That was a wild story.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a freaking
10 minutes.
The Weeknd comes up to you?
Take these questions. Where we at with it?
Let's see what we got.
There was one that we missed. Hold on.
Yeah, let's go
I think
back.
I think it was DJ Brightside again. Do you have the same routine when starting to create a beat? I'll answer this one. Real quick. I make all my beats on Twitch. So
All of them?
all of them, dude. I make so many.
That's true.
I make 6 to 10 in like 2 hours.
For real.
So what I do is like I literally log on to Twitch, go live 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then I just start banging out on my machine. I just, whatever I'm feeling that day, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's in front of me on the screen, whatever records I got ripped onto my computer, I sampled them live on Twitch. You should follow me, Trox1Million.
Tune in. Trox gets busy on the Twitch, man. No.
And I appreciate everybody tuning in, for real. Thank you guys. I've just became a partner, so thank you for everybody. Thank you everybody for supporting.
Yes, congrats.
Yep.
Thank you.
Look, Twitch
Well
partner,
deserved.
Small Hand Big Slaps TV. Get in.
Sure.
SHBS TV, baby. What about you guys?
No, I try to switch it up because I think your mind kind of gets adapted to like what you do on occasion. So sometimes I get inspired by a sound and start with a melody. Sometimes I'll just try to start with drums. Different approach brings out like a different outcome. So, or I may take a sample and then chop it up. It really just depends on how, like what my mood is at the moment. But I'm trying to switch it up more, like get in the mood to switch it up more because, it does change your flow and make you create something different than what you normally do. So.
Yeah, I let the inspiration dictate where how I start a track. You know what I mean? I might have a melody in my head and I want to start there, or I might be just beatboxing around the crib like, yo, I need to take that and make that a real drum arrangement. So, I let the inspiration pretty much take me to the starting point of where I make my tracks.
Definitely. We did have another question.
Let's see what's good.
Oh, so Sean.
How much? Also, Sean. How much is mixing a part of your beat making process?
Everything.
I'll go there. I'm since that's by trade, I'm an audio engineer, Pro Tools certified, class of 2007, Full Sail.
Can you guys hear Will?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, we're back. All right.
The mix is important. People have to be able to, enjoy listening to it sonically in order to create to it. So, like, if you send beats in there, like the mixes are just massacred, over compressed, all that type of good stuff, they're gonna go right to the next track. So, I'm gonna give you all a gem. I need everybody in the chat, go YouTube Gain Staging. It'll help you have a good starting point on how to mix your beats in any DAW. Gain Staging, GAIN Staging, exactly how it sounds. And it'll give you an advantage over a lot of people that's just hopping in their DAWs and just throwing a bunch of pre-mixed sounds together. You know what I'm saying? So definitely look that up.
Definitely.
How about you, Trox?
I just twist and tweak until it sounds right. I don't go too much into the mix process of it,
Yeah.
I have like presets already for me. Like just like ones I've made. And I like bookmark like the ones I really like. And then I like throw something onto a channel and then I go from there. I adjust I adjust accordingly.
So this person said, what about during the beat making process? I think while you're making the beat, you need to hear it correctly. So we typically do adjust while we're creating the beat. Like if your bass is too high. Yeah, so I mean, but of course, actually mixing the record, if you're talking about getting it mixed and mastered to the liking of the artist and their project, then either they're going to have an engineer do it, or if you're going to do it, then that's something you would actually do apart from just making a beat. You know what I mean? So
the real mix, send that to me. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So you do a rough mix while you're making it, and then after that, get the project mixed.
Whenever I make beats, I just focus on the idea at hand, and then I mix it after.
Yeah.
I mean, because mixing can be a rabbit hole to get into.
Yeah, I can't afford to go down that rabbit hole at all.
Yeah, it could be time consuming. So
definitely.
And that's why you should send it to me.
Send it to Il Brown.
Send it to Will.
Send it to Will.
Send it to Il Brown.
Send it to me. It's not free though, but send it to me.
All right, gang. That's our time. These were the highlights. We answered your questions. Oh wait, actually, let's answer this one. How do you overcome beat the block?
So a lot of people that we've interviewed so far, like I don't know if you guys listened to Kane One's interview, but like step away, go and do something that you enjoy to do, because that can inspire you. So go outside, take a walk, go to the gym, like unplug from the studio for a few. That's one thing. Another thing is like what I was saying, taking different approaches. So like if you normally start off with a melody but you can't figure it out, just start off with some drums and don't attach yourself to the outcome. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's almost like just imagine you drawing a picture and you just completely detach how it sounds, how it's going to look. Like, don't judge it before it's done. And then just do that. I still struggle with it, so I'm telling you what I'm trying to incorporate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Or what I am incorporating. It does work. It does. So
How about you,
Yeah,
Trox?
absolutely.
I'm the same way. You know, I like to unplug, but you know, with this Twitch deal, it's kind of impossible for me to do that.
Gotta keep grinding.
But at that, you know, it's funny. It's funny that I said that though, because whenever like I'm making beats live in front of an audience, I'm like inspired because that forces you to get that shit done. Like I'm liable to make 10 beats in 2 hours just because a live audience is there. I know exactly what I want to make though at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I do like an hour of prep as far as like, you know, selecting which sample I want to flip and all that good stuff, you know?
Right.
But you know, like I'll make beats 4 days out of the week. 4 days. I'm not gonna do it like every day. Because if I do that shit every day, I'm gonna get burnt out. So I take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I mean, I use those days to like finish the beats, like just bounce them out. But as far as the creation process, I just take those days off.
Yeah, because like in Danon's episode, he was like, you know, sometimes I'll be sitting, I'll listen to something for 3 hours. I don't know what it sounds like. I have to step away, take a nap, like meditate, do whatever, and then get back. Maybe even the next day, and then it's like, oh, now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about Will? You can
Definitely.
hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you now, John. Somehow it works.
Boom.
Yeah, beat block, man. You know, I kind of just understood that it's temporary, and when I get beat block, man, I go and try to listen to other stuff to get inspired. You know what I mean? Like there's a saying, man. Like it gets to a point where you can only hear your own music, and that's when you need to switch up your palette. You know what I mean? Like I usually go and listen to a completely different genre when I'm you know, I face the block if I'm trying to make a particular style. Like if I'm burnt out on making hip hop style beats or whatever, I go listen to some jazz. I go listen to some you know, progressive rock or whatever. You know what I mean? And then I'll come back and sonically hip hop will sound so different to me, or whatever I'm trying to make will sound so different. I have some fresh ideas. You know, I've heard different arrangements. I heard different instrumentation. So it's kind of like hitting a reset button.
Yeah, on some real shit. I was listening to Foreigner this morning.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. I
That
agree
makes a
with
lot of
everybody.
sense. 100%.
Yes, sir.
So, gang, it looks like we're going to close this out. I'm about to drop the podcast in all the comments here. Please go check it out. Give it a review if you like it. We're going to be coming out with new episodes every single Thursday, and we're doing these streams where we break down the highlights every single Friday. So we appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, that's about it. Will, you want to close us out with the tags?
Hey, so I'm gonna do it right this time. I'm Il Brown.
Let's do it.
I'm Trox.
And I'm your girl, Candy. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in with us. Beat the Block. Man, we got to come up with a cool name for this. Beat the Block Interactive. Boom.
Beat the Block.
Beat the Block.
I like that. I like that.
It's Beat the Block Live.
Interactive.
Beat the Block Live.
It is
No,
Beat
it's
the Block Live.
Live, but it's Beat the Block
Live.
Interactive because we're interacting with the people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Let me cook.
Love it. Let him cook. He's baking. All right, gang. See you next time.
All right,
Peace.
see ya.
See ya.
Next week.
Peace.